What if I told you that hidden deep inside the centuries-old foundations of the Spanish monarchy lies a royal law so old, so controversial, that in theory it could one day threaten Princess Léonor's claim to the throne? A law born more than 300 years ago, during one of the most dramatic succession crises in European history. A law that reshaped dynasties, divided kingdoms, and still echoes in modern constitutional debates. And even though Spain today is a modern democracy, the shadow of that historic rule still sparks questions about the future of the crown. To understand the weight of this story, we have to go back to the early 18th century, to the War of the Spanish Succession and the rise of the Bourbon dynasty under King Philip V. When the last Habsburg king of Spain died without an heir in 1700, Europe plunged into chaos. Competing royal houses fought for control of the Spanish throne, and after years of brutal conflict, the Bourbon Prince Philip of Anjou emerged as King Philip V. But his reign would change Spain forever. In 1713, Philip introduced the auto acordado, enforcing a version of Salic law, a succession system that strictly favored male heirs over females. Under this law, women could not inherit the throne if there was any eligible male descendant in the royal line. For centuries, this male preference system shaped the Spanish monarchy, ensuring that kings ruled and queens reigned mostly as consorts, not sovereigns. Fast forward to the 19th century, and this very law detonated another crisis. King Ferdinand VII, who had no surviving sons, wanted his daughter to inherit the throne. To make that possible, he issued the Pragmatic Sanction of 1830, effectively repealing Salic law and restoring the older Castilian tradition that allowed female succession. His daughter, Isabella II, became queen, but not without fierce opposition. Supporters of Ferdinand's brother, Don Carlos, rejected the change, claiming the 1713 law still stood. The result? The bloody Carlist Wars, a series of civil conflicts that tore Spain apart for decades. That's how powerful a 300-year-old succession rule can be. It can split nations. It can spark wars. It can redefine legitimacy. And now, in the 21st century, people sometimes ask, could anything like that ever happen again? Today, Princess Léonor stands as the undisputed heir to the Spanish throne. As the eldest daughter of King Felipe VI, she carries the title Princess of Asturias, the historic designation given to the heir apparent or heir presumptive of Spain. She has sworn loyalty to the Constitution, begun her military training, and represents a new generation of monarchy, modern, prepared, and deeply aware of her duty. Spain's current constitution of 1978, which restored the monarchy under King Juan Carlos I after the Franco era, maintains male preference primogeniture. That means that while Léonor is first in line, if her parents had a son after her birth, that son would have displaced her in the line of succession. This rule mirrors the older Bourbon tradition, though not as absolute as the original 1713 Salic law. However, crucially, King Felipe VI has no sons. Léonor's younger sister, Infanta Sofia, comes after her in the line of succession. So under the present constitutional framework, Léonor's position is secure. But here's where the debate intensifies. Across Europe, monarchies have modernized their succession laws to adopt absolute primogeniture, meaning the eldest child inherits the throne regardless of gender. The United Kingdom made this historic change in 2013 under the Succession to the Crown Act, ensuring that Princess Charlotte would not be overtaken by her younger brother. Countries like Sweden, Norway, Belgium, and the Netherlands have already embraced gender-equal succession. Spain, however, has not yet amended its constitution to remove male preference. Over the years, political leaders, including King Felipe VI himself, have expressed support for reform. But constitutional change in Spain is complex. It requires a supermajority in parliament, dissolution of the legislature, fresh elections, and a national referendum. In other words, it's not simple. So when headlines speak dramatically of a 300-year-old royal law that could strip Léonor of her throne, they're referencing this historical chain, from Philip V's 1713 decree to today's still male preference system. Legally speaking, the original Salic law is no longer directly enforceable, it was overturned centuries ago. But its legacy survives in the structure of the Constitution. And constitutional monarchies operate strictly under the law. If Spain ever had a constitutional crisis, a radical political shift, or a movement to restore stricter dynastic rules, highly unlikely, but theoretically possible, succession laws could once again become a flashpoint. However, let's separate drama from reality. There is currently no legal mechanism in Spain that would simply strip Princess Léonor of her claim without a massive constitutional overhaul supported by Parliament and the Spanish people. Her position is recognized, publicly affirmed, and institutionally protected. In fact, her visibility and preparation suggest the monarchy is firmly investing in her future. Her education, her military training, her public speeches, including her oath to the Constitution in Parliament, all reinforce that Spain sees her as its future queen. But history teaches us something powerful: royal succession has always been intertwined with politics. Laws change when societies change. And monarchies survive only by adapting. The 1713 Salic Law was once seen as essential to stability. The 1830 Pragmatic Sanction was seen as revolutionary. The 1978 Constitution was seen as a rebirth. Every generation reshapes the crown according to its values. For Princess Léonor, the bigger question may not be about losing her throne, but about redefining it. Will Spain eventually adopt absolute primogeniture and formally erase the last trace of male preference? Many believe it's only a matter of time. Such a reform would not threaten Léonor, it would strengthen her legitimacy and future-proof the monarchy. And there's another layer to consider. Modern monarchies rely heavily on public trust. The Spanish royal family has navigated scandals, political tension, and shifting public opinion over the past decade. Under King Felipe VI, there has been a strong push for transparency and renewal. Léonor represents continuity, but also modernization. If anything, her role as a young female heir in a historically male-dominated system symbolizes progress rather than vulnerability. So could a 300-year-old law truly strip her of her throne? In today's Spain, realistically, no. But its historical existence reminds us how fragile royal succession once was, and how dramatically it shaped European history. From Philip V's Bourbon reforms to Ferdinand VII's reversal, from civil wars to constitutional democracy, the Spanish throne has never been just a seat of ceremony. It has been the epicenter of power struggles, ideology, and identity. And Princess Léonor stands at the crossroads of that legacy. She is both the product of centuries of dynastic evolution and the face of its future transformation. The real story isn't about a looming threat, it's about how far Spain has come. A country once divided over whether a woman could rule now proudly prepares a young princess to become queen. The echoes of 1713 may still be whispered in history books, but the Spain of today is vastly different from the Spain of Philip V. And as Léonor steps further into her royal destiny, the 300-year-old law that once reshaped a kingdom now serves mainly as a dramatic reminder of how monarchy survives: by adapting, by reforming, and by aligning itself with the will of its people. In the end, the throne isn't secured by ancient decrees, it's secured by constitutional legitimacy, public support, and the readiness of the heir. And on all those fronts, Princess Léonor's path to queenship appears stronger than ever.